Imagine preparing for years, saving every rupee, dreaming of studying in Canada, only to see your visa rejected without explanation. This is the shocking reality for thousands of Indian students in 2025. Nearly 80% of Indian student visas are being denied, but why? Stay with us as we uncover the hidden truth behind Canada's crackdown. Chapter 1. The shocking numbers. The news broke like a thunderclap. 4 out of every 5 Indian student visas are now being rejected in Canada. Families who had pinned their hopes on acceptance letters are left staring at rejection notices that simply say, "Denied." The numbers are not just statistics. They represent crushed dreams, broken families, and financial losses that may never be recovered. In cities like Delhi, Mumbai, and Hyderabad, visa offices have become the center of heartbreak, with long queues of students returning home in tears. For decades, Canada was seen as the most welcoming place for Indian students, but this shift has left many asking, what changed so suddenly? Some families had already paid tuition deposits of thousands of dollars, only to be left with nothing but debt. Parents are devastated after investing years of savings, while students feel humiliated among their peers. Even Canadian universities are sounding the alarm because their enrollment numbers are plummeting. What was once a mutually beneficial relationship between Canada and Indian students now looks like a brutal rejection of a generation. Chapter 2. Why Canada is rejecting so many. Officials in Ottawa claim the crackdown is necessary because of fraudulent documents, fake bank statements, and illegal immigration pathways tied to student visas. But immigration lawyers argue the deeper reason is political and economic. Canada is facing a crippling housing shortage, with students crowding into illegal basement apartments and landlords exploiting them with sky-high rents. Communities like Brampton and Surrey are overrun with cases of 10 or more students crammed into a single home. Politicians, under immense pressure from angry Canadian citizens, have decided that cutting back student visas is the easiest way to cool down the crisis. It's a move that protects votes but sacrifices students' futures. Universities are scrambling because international tuition fees fund their operations, and Indian students made up a significant percentage of that revenue. By targeting India specifically, the government hopes to reduce the flood of applications quickly. Yet, many argue this punishes the honest along with the guilty. The debate continues, but the damage is already visible. Chapter 3. The human cost. Behind every rejection lies a story of sacrifice. Some students sold farmland, family homes, or gold jewelry just to finance their dream of studying in Canada. Others took out high-interest loans, believing they would pay them back after securing jobs abroad. A rejection letter doesn't just break a dream, it shatters the financial stability of entire households. There are heartbreaking stories of fathers working double shifts, only to see their child's visa rejected. Mothers cry silently as their children's future disappears. For students, the rejection brings shame and a sense of being unwanted, as though Canada is telling them, "You are not good enough." Some families are left bankrupt, with no way to recover the money already spent. Social media is flooded with angry posts from rejected applicants, who feel cheated after spending lakhs of rupees. The pain is not only financial but also deeply emotional. The loss of hope, the feeling of betrayal, and the crushing realization that years of effort were wasted. Chapter 4. Political tensions between Canada and India. This crisis cannot be separated from the political tensions simmering between Ottawa and New Delhi. The relationship between the two nations has been strained due to diplomatic disputes, trade disagreements, and security concerns. Many analysts believe the spike in rejections is indirectly linked to these tensions. When nations clash, students often become pawns in the geopolitical chess game. Indian officials have demanded explanations, but Canadian authorities stick to vague answers about fraud and system abuse. The timing, however, feels too deliberate to ignore. Some Indian media outlets have accused Canada of weaponizing visas to pressure India politically. If true, it's a dangerous game that risks alienating one of Canada's largest immigrant communities. The perception in India is growing that Canada no longer values its students. And perception, once cemented, can be more damaging than the reality itself. Chapter 5. Impact on Canada's economy. The financial impact on Canada could be catastrophic. Indian students are not just learners, they are major contributors to the Canadian economy. In 2023 alone, international students added nearly $22 billion CAD to Canada's GDP. Cutting off this stream now threatens universities, housing markets, and small businesses that depend on student spending. Restaurants near campuses are seeing fewer customers, landlords face empty rooms, and local businesses are losing vital income. Universities are already announcing budget cuts, with some programs at risk of closure. The irony is painful. By trying to solve a housing crisis, Canada may trigger an economic one. International students, especially from India, filled jobs in retail, delivery, and customer service, roles that Canadians often avoid. Without them, labor shortages will worsen. Canada's decision may seem like short-term protection, but in the long run, it risks damaging the very economy it seeks to protect. Chapter 6. India's response. India is not sitting quietly. Protests have erupted outside Canadian embassies in Delhi, with students and parents demanding justice. Campaigns urging youth to boycott Canada are gaining traction online. Education consultancies report that families are redirecting their applications to the UK, Germany, and Australia. For India, this rejection is not just about visas, it's a matter of dignity. Politicians in India accuse Canada of discrimination, while parents call it a betrayal of trust. As the world watches, Canada risks losing its title as the top destination for Indian students. Already, applications to Australia have surged by 30%. If this trend continues, Canada could permanently lose a generation of skilled, educated workers from India. The diplomatic fallout could also extend into trade and security partnerships. India may retaliate by imposing its own restrictions on Canadian nationals. The visa rejection issue is becoming more than a policy decision, it's a potential international standoff. Chapter 7. The future of Indian students in Canada. So, what does the future hold? Experts believe the crackdown will last for at least several years. Housing construction cannot keep up with demand, and public anger over immigration is only growing. For students, the pathway to Canada will now require stricter checks, higher funds, and verified applications through trusted agents. Those who still dream of Canada must be prepared for a tougher journey. However, many may simply look elsewhere, reshaping global education patterns in the process. The once clear pipeline from India to Canada is now filled with uncertainty. Unless Canada changes course, Indian students may decide the dream is not worth the risk. The Canadian dream isn't dead, but it is severely wounded. And for many Indian families, that wound will never fully heal. If you believe Canada is targeting Indian students unfairly, comment below with your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because we'll continue exposing the stories others won't tell.